Welcome to the channel, I'm Sam the Ashen. Secrets of Grindea is an action-adventure RPG released in late February 2024 with a rating of very positive with just under 6,000 reviews, which is pretty solid from a smaller developer and a lot of competition. So what makes Secrets of Grindea stand out from the abundance of similar games? Well, it has a lot of things you would see in other games like 2D combat, skill tree and leveling up, quests, NPCs, exploration, side activities, from fishing to racing contests to feeding rabbits, and the standout part is that it does most, if not all, these things really well. It's not the greatest game ever made, but it's definitely a competent game that executes its ideas well enough to set it above the others. After creating your character, you're put right into the world, and then you can adjust some settings, anything from difficulty to HUD elements. You can also rebind any keys, which I know a lot of people like. The game's story and presentation does follow some typical tropes, but with some added humor and self-awareness, which I can definitely appreciate, like when your magic bag goes into demon mode when he gets interrupted by a few bad guys. Another important note is how well the animations are done, and it might not seem like much, but there's animations for most things going on in the world, which definitely makes it feel more alive and lets you know that the developers definitely paid attention to some smaller details. Probably the last part about the story, the intro is basically you proving yourself to become what's called a collector, and it's pretty typical. There's an arena and you fight a boss and you do some puzzles, but there's some added things in there that make it more interesting and more charming, and some little twists here and there, like making the challenges of the arena be something that you've never done before, so you'll probably lose. Of course, accompanied by the rich, snobby rival that is really hateable. One of my favorite parts so far that I think is handled really well is the gear and skill system. For gear, there's a lot of different gear. There is incentive to defeat different enemies, like getting 50 slime can let you craft special armor or a special weapon that you can integrate into different types of builds, because all the different armor and weapons from enemies have different types of effects. For skills, there's a lot of different skills. There's 3 main tiers that I've seen so far, being melee, magic, and ranged. But there's also sub-tiers to those, like two-handed and one-handed, different types of magic, and then different types of summons. Some skills are kind of mediocre, like a 2% bonus on health, but other skills go a little bit more in-depth, like blocking with your shield gives you 3 energy, which definitely adds up. I really like the graphics and the art style, it's really charming. There's been a lot of different biomes so far, which is definitely important to keep things visually appealing and fresh. Each of these new biomes is accompanied by new monsters and creatures to fight, which is even more important to keep the game entertaining and fun, and they did a really good job on this so far. There's also a whole nother mode called Arcade Mode, which turns the game into a roguelike. It's an entirely separate mode, so your character save is totally different. You fight through different floors and upgrade different weapons for each run, and you also have like a home base, a village that you slowly upgrade by getting better and better runs. It feels really fleshed out. It doesn't feel like it was tacked on the side. I don't think it's as strong as the main story or the main game, but it's really solid, and if you're a fan of roguelikes and these types of games, it's definitely a nice addition. Probably the best thing about this is there's a free demo on Steam, so you can really try it with no risk. I got the demo and played for about an hour and enjoyed it enough to buy the full game. It was like $16. I would definitely say this game is worth checking out. I'm not even halfway through, and there has been a lot of good content. That's it for the video today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you get to check out this game. If you did enjoy, liking or commenting really does help me out a lot. Every person counts. If you want to see more from me, I post once a week on Sunday, so I'll never clog up your feed. Hope you have a good one. Peace out.